From attic to basement, we're here for you. It's quality service in all we do. Call Taylor. 500 help.
That's right, Taylor, 500 help. Call Taylor Heating and Plumbing for all your home heating, air conditioning, and plumbing needs. They are right there for you 24/7. Taylor has a wonderful, talented staff of repairmen. They repair and install all types of furnaces, and that includes propane and natural gas. Schedule an appointment to get the furnace checked because the cold weather is here. So call the guys at Taylor. That's Taylor 500 help. Precision Lawn and Garden. That's 195 North Avenue in Webster, providing Rochester and the surrounding areas the great sales, professional service, and parts since 1969. All your favorite brands in snow blowers, in blowers, in lawn mowers, they've got ATVs. They have everything at Precision Lawn and Garden. Make sure you check them out. Make sure that you say hello to Kimberly and Justin. They will help you find anything you need. That's Precision Lawn and Garden. And of course, Revere Realty, your one-stop shop for buying and selling your home. We're not the biggest real estate agency, but we're just the right size to make sure your home buying experience is phenomenal. And this is the first year, came out yesterday, that Revere Realty is ranked in the top real estate agencies in Rochester. We're super proud of that. We're very proud of the relationships that we have with our clients. We will help you buy or sell a home, and we're happy to be there for you and part of your experience in the home buying and selling field. So call us. Reach out to Revere Realty. That's 585-467-1776, 585-467-1776. And we have a listing that's going live tomorrow in Greece on Rawlingwood Drive. If you're in the market for a house under $200,000, Rawlingwood Drive might be your next home. So make sure you support our advertisers. They support us here at Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People Podcast Network.
I think we finally made it. I'm gutting this one out today, Kimberly, and I'm gutting it out.
Gutting it out.
Live from the We the People broadcast studio in really crappy, rainy, 38-degree Irondequoit, New York. She's back by at least some sort of popular demand.
Yeah.
Here she is.
Here I am.
Kimberly Ray.
Popular demand in my own mind, you know? I am popular in my own mind. How are you? You're sick? You're not feeling good?
I'm hyped up on cold medicine and Corona.
Great. Oh, you're drinking? For Christ's sake. Listen, what's wrong with you?
Everything.
I mean, besides the regular stuff.
It's me. It's me. The problem is me. Everybody agrees.
Did you take a COVID test?
I did. I'm negative.
Of course you did. Of course you did. Yeah, because there's a thing that it happens that sometimes you just get a little cold. But I'm sorry that you're not feeling,
I'll gut one out here. It's good.
Yeah,
I'm
you
a
look
team
good.
Player. Unlike Austin, I'm a team player.
Austin, our producer, is with us. There he is. There's Austin. So we thank Austin for making sure that our show looks and sounds phenomenal. We appreciate that. And of course, just Tom. Next week, it is going to be me and Chad. You are going to be out next week.
I'm going to be out and doing some Coronas with some bomb breeze.
Oh, where are you going?
Guam cheese. How does that commercial go with Snoop Dogg?
Oh yeah, Snoop Dogg, right. Where are you going?
We're gonna do another cruise, and then we'll probably go to Disney. We got the tickets for that. Just Lori and I.
Okay, very nice.
We're going on the new ship for Carnival. It's kind of a crappy cruise, but we haven't seen the new ship Mardi Gras, so we're excited to see her and see how she sails.
All right, very good. So Tom will not be just a little show note, little taking care of business before we start Kimberly's Revolution. I'm Kimberly, by the way, in case you don't know. That's just Tom and our producer. Austin is sitting right there. And so, yes, the We the People Podcast Network. We enjoy all of our patriots that like to listen. So share the YouTube video, if you will. We love having new subscribers to our YouTube network. So please try to do that at Kimberly's Revolution on YouTube. We're right there. Just click and like it. You can leave us notes there too. Jeffrey Miller says, greetings from Batavia, the land of ass-ripping winds. I get that.
It was a little windy today.
It doesn't get real windy down here.
No, it really sucked here today. You're lucky you're down there.
I'm in the South. I'm in South Carolina, and I will tell you that it did pour and thunderstorm all night long, but we have 67 degrees outside
Poor
in South
baby.
Carolina today. So just a little weather
Did
update.
you even bring your winter jacket with you?
We brought winter coats, but can I just tell you something funny? People down here wear winter coats when it's like 50 some degrees, and I'm walking around in a sweatshirt.
Right.
I'm sure at some point in time my body will acclimate, and I also will be walking around in a winter coat when it's 55.
That's what Rich said.
Right?
Right.
So anyway, so here we are. I just wanted to point something out because a lot of times people say that the younger generation, they're too young to know any better. They don't know anything. And I saw this today, and I thought it was pretty interesting. Most of the founding fathers were younger
Right.
than you'd think in 1776. Did you
Yeah,
see
because
this?
everybody died at 35, Kimberly.
It's true, true. So all of the founders of our country, this great country of America, were way young. I mean, Alexander Hamilton in 1776 was 21 years old. James Madison was 25. Thomas Jefferson was 33. John Hancock, you know who he is, you see his signature,
You mean
39.
You mean Johnny Foot Penis?
That's it. George Washington was 44. And Ben Franklin, the old guy, he was 70. But I thought that was kind of interesting. The founding fathers of our country, most of them were under 45 years old. So I think there's hope for the younger generation. At least that's what I'm going to continue to think in
So
my
you're
mind.
saying in 1776 we would be dead by now?
Well, probably we would, just
Yeah.
because, the
We would've
lack
got
of medicine and
cholera.
hygiene and cholera and,
We'd have got the plague.
something.
Because you certainly wouldn't have taken that dirt shot that they had, Kimberly. Where they would just like put the leeches on you. Where you going, leeches?
Yeah, sick. It's so
You wouldn't do
disgusting.
the leeches.
How was your Thanksgiving?
Great. My mom
Yeah?
at 86 years old put together another Thanksgiving dinner for the family.
Nice.
We've been trying to wrestle it away from her, but she just plain refuses. So we keep showing up.
Oh, okay. Very nice.
So thank you, Mother. I know you're listening. Thank you for a beautiful Thanksgiving.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, my mother-in-law did all the cooking, so I appreciate her.
Mhm.
But our kitchen is under construction, and
I've
I
been
got to tell
seeing
you,
that.
the chaos and the dust, guys, are driving me nutso. The chaos and the dust is just, it's driving me crazy. But I'll get through it. And at the end, I know at the end there's going to be a beautiful kitchen with a half bath and a giant pantry. I'm super excited, but it's painful right now. Anyone that's ever gone through any construction in their house knows that it is just so painful. But in my mind, it kind of messes with me because I'm just not used to having things out of sorts.
Yeah,
And
talented people that do that kind of work. I'm in appreciation of them.
yeah,
Rich is probably doing the majority of it.
he
Uh,
is. He did
yeah,
all the tear out, the poor
so
guy.
good for him.
Yeah.
That's not easy work to do.
He did all the tear out. We took down 2 walls. He took out all the light fixtures. We had to load it up. The great thing about here in South Carolina is
You just throw all your shit at the road and they pick it up.
no, they have local dumps that your taxes pay for. And you can take anything. Anything. You can load up
Big
as
barrels of
much.
nuclear waste.
Yeah,
Anything.
well, they don't check anything.
They don't
I mean,
care if you throw paint cans in your garbage
you
can.
can take paint. You don't take paint. You take it to the dump. You don't put it because they come every Monday, but you can't have more than one dumpster. Where we live in the town where we live in South Carolina, you can have one little,
Bin.
little
Yeah.
bin. And if anything's on the ground, they won't take it because the dump is open like 4 days a week and on Saturdays. I don't think they're open on like Wednesdays. It's weird. But they're open every other day and you can take whatever. I mean, we have deconstructed the kitchen and taken crap loads of stuff and they take it all. Dead bodies? Yes. John Wilson said, John, kind of serial killer whack job are you? All right,
Is
John.
is it like Long Lake up in the Adirondacks? Could you go down there and watch the bears pile
Um,
through the garbage?
you probably could, but
Now
yeah,
that's
I
good
never.
entertainment up at Long Lake. You sit there with your lawn chair and watch the bears go through the
Our
garbage.
our
That's good
neighbor told us
entertainment.
about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry, you can take truckloads of stuff to the dump, and he goes, yeah, your taxes, your city taxes pay for that, and I'm like, I'm sorry, a dump? I said, do they charge you when you go to the dump? Because in Rochester, I think they have certain places you go, but you have to pay for it, right?
Yeah. Could you
I,
imagine driving up to the Mill Seat landfill and saying, "Hey, I got some crap I want to throw out"?
no, wouldn't happen.
You can't even go to the recycling center without an appointment, pretty
What
much.
I know, right? Wouldn't happen.
Mhm.
So speaking of bears,
Bear.
do you do you have blow ups in your front yard? Are you the kind of Christmas people that you have the blow ups that deflate during the day and then blow up at night?
I know this might shock a lot of people, but I really can't stand Christmas lights and all that crap. It's always
What?
bothered me, and I don't know why. I'm kind of a Scrooge when it comes to Christmas lights.
Who am I even talking to right now?
I don't know. It bothers me.
You have a Christmas jacket.
I do, yes. But that's easy because I just take it out of the closet and put it on. I don't
Yeah.
like the putting up the Christmas lights is not horrible. It's the taking them down when it's 26 degrees with sideways snow.
No,
And I'm not the guy that's going to leave up Christmas lights 20, 12 months out of the year and then just flip a switch.
right. I hear you.
Because I think that's stupid too.
We do have Christmas lights, but we have spotlights. Our neighbor across the street, they have a giant Santa.
Mhm.
And I think our neighbors down the street, they have like the reindeer and they've got Santa and they've
Yeah.
got Frosty the Snowman. But this is
I,
funny.
I used to put out a couple of reindeers that had lights on them. That was my compromise to Lori. And then all the lights broke. And instead of where you sit there and you got to try to find the one bulb that doesn't work and you
Yeah,
want to kill yourself, I just threw them in the dumpster and said the hell with it.
you're crazy. This situation happened, and apparently a bear took exception to a blow up Christmas display in this family's front yard. They live in Lake Tahoe. First off, that's got to be nice. And it happened on the Nevada side of the lake. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but a bear attacked the inflatable Rudolph decoration and tore the living bejesus out of it. I think we have some pictures and some video. There's the bear. He thinks it's real. He's trying to pull it away.
Has the bear said what its gender is, Kimberly?
Look at
I
the
don't
bear.
know.
Yeah, so there's the bear. And then I think we have other pictures of the aftermath. Do we have pictures of the aftermath? There we go. Oh, poor Rudolph was mangled by a bear. There you go. That's what happens. So rest in peace, Rudolph.
That wouldn't have happened to Yukon Cornelius. He would have taken care of that bear.
The bear is so funny, right? Oh my goodness. We don't have blow ups because I've never liked them. And don't take this the wrong way. For anyone that has blow ups in their front yard, my opinion doesn't matter about your decorations. But I'm just going to say this. My opinion doesn't matter about your decorations.
But
And
you
you
will
do.
look down on them.
You do. Yes. Yes. I think they're trashy, but you do you, listeners and patriots. You put all the blow-ups in your front yard. Me personally, I look at that and go, trash.
Well, ever since I was 15 years old, I was told never to buy any of those blow-ups, Kimberlita.
Really? I
Right.
don't want to know what kind of blow-ups you have in your closet. That's frightening. That is frightening. So anyway, we are glad that all of our patriots are here. I also wanted to this is a little note that's happened right before we came on the show. One of my favorite bands of all time, Fleetwood Mac, lost one of their
Really?
band members today. 79-year-old Christine McVie passed away at her home after a very short illness. Christine McVie, one of two females in that group, obviously, was Stevie Nicks. I had the pleasure of seeing Fleetwood Mac 3 times in Rochester at Blue Cross Arena, and they were, without a doubt, probably one of my top 5 concerts of all time, and
Mm,
I
that's
I have
sad.
loved them since the '70s, and, you know, the music world lost an icon for sure,
Absolutely. Is it too
and
soon to ask how many booster shots she got?
I don't know, but she's 79. So when you think of these guys like Fleetwood Mac and you think of guys like Lou Graham and Foreigner, you you don't ever see them as old, you know, you see them as these rock stars that were young, like they always like Robert Plant. I saw Robert Plant the other day and I'm like, dude is old, but they've been around rocking and rolling forever. And but anyway, so Christine McVie, the rock world will never be the same without her, and she was a force to be reckoned
Yeah.
with.
Making it to 79 with burning the candle at both ends. That's pretty good.
That is pretty good, right?
I bet
So,
you they would sign up for that, most of them, when they were 20.
I saw that and I thought, man, rock world is not going to be the same without Christine McVie. I mean, she was for for a woman really made her mark, her and Stevie Nicks, and there was never any stories about, hey, there were cat fights between them. I mean, they always knew what mattered, and that was the group and putting out great music, and that was just kind of the way it was. So, we're sorry to see her go.
Absolutely.
Sorry to see her go. Um, a guy we're not sorry to see
Uh-oh.
go. Did you see this fat boy? Go fat boy, go straight to jail.
I heard. I get
Yeah.
all my news from you, Kimberly, so
I know you should, right?
so I'm
So
well informed.
George Moses, I think we have a picture of him. You guys
There he
remember
is.
him. Yeah,
Handsome man.
he stole money from poor people in the district that he was supposed to be representing. You remember him, right?
I do.
He was supposed to help poor people find housing at the
How'd that work
Rochester
out?
right at the Rochester Housing Authority, which was a government program that helps low income individuals gain access to housing. And instead of helping the poor individuals that he was hired to help, he stole money from the organization and then tried to launder it through Adam McFadden's charities that he had set up as a legislator. He stole millions of dollars and he is going to jail. Really not long enough. 6.5 years in prison for defrauding 3 nonprofits, for filing false tax returns, for lying to the FBI, and other charges. That's according to prosecutors today. So he'll go to jail for 6.5 years. He's also sentenced to pay $360,000 immediately. I don't know where he's going to get that. He's going to be on 3 years probation after he does his 6.5 years in prison. And he's 53 years old. So you might ask, he's supposed to be there to help find housing for the elderly, the disabled, and the less than wealthy. I mean, they're poor,
Mhm.
right? And instead, he used that money from the Rochester Housing Commission and community grant funds to buy himself a new car, a timeshare in Florida, a cruise, tickets to New York Knicks games at Madison Square Garden. And I said games in the plural, car repairs for all of his family's cars, personal credit card payments, multiple trips to Canada because he had a side piece, right? He's got the wife that he's got to finance. And then he's got the side piece in Canada that he had to finance, including an immigration lawyer so that he could get her to the United States so that he wouldn't have to make that 3-hour trip to Canada, to Toronto to see her all the time, right? Crazy.
Yeah,
Millions of dollars.
how do you not think that you're gonna get caught with all that? I mean, I could see maybe one of all those, and you're like, hey, we'll try to skim a few thousand here and we'll do something and we'll hide it in the books somewhere. But when you're just that blatant and you're just, what the hell? Who cares? Right? It just seems like,
Crazy.
yeah, I mean, it's crazy how arrogant that comes across.
and thinking he would never get caught. I mean, that's the thing, that he thought that he could do it and take money
Right. Yeah.
from the and not just, I mean, these weren't just like poor, they were the poorest of the poor, as in some of these people were living in shelters and on the street, that he could have used some of that money to find housing for them. And he thought, Stryker says, and this took the words right out of my mouth, he thought he was above the law. He thought he and Adam McFadden, his buddy, were never going to get caught. You can't trust any politician in office. There has to be a checks and balances.
Well, what
And
I mean, I don't know what happened, but did one of their own blow him in? How did the whole story break through?
Adam McFadden got caught first and then blew in his buddy because, why have to go to jail all by yourself? So, and then there was an audit done. And then, the house of cards came falling down, so to speak. I mean, because once you do the audit, and by the way, these nonprofits are
Oh,
shady AF,
that's
right?
where all the money gets laundered.
There's a nonprofit in town right now that is currently under investigation. And when that story breaks, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to be very sorry that they backed that. I'm not going to say any more. I'm just going to say that I know that there's an investigation underway into this nonprofit. You have to be very careful who you give your money to when it
Yep.
comes to a nonprofit. Are they using it the way they should? Who's checking on where that money is going through a nonprofit? Basically, there's no check on it. You give your money and you hope that it doesn't go to finance someone's trip to Paris, right?
Right.
But who knows? I'm just going to say, I just want to say, and I've said it before, that today on November 30th, that there's a nonprofit in town that's probably going to get blown open very soon. And when it does, I'm going to go back to this show and I'm going to play this cut. So Austin,
All
make
right.
sure you flag this tape.
Got it.
It's
'Cause
not
it's
the
gonna-
United Way, is it?
I
Because I
don't- I don't-
remember when I was like 19 years old and they had that United Way drive and you had to give like 5 cents an hour out of your paycheck. That really pissed me off.
It should.
I was like, why do I have to go? You have to do it. It's like, really? I have to do it? Okay.
It should. It absolutely. It should. Hey, another thing that kind of was a peeve of mine, and I saw that this morning. So anyway, so George Moses is going to jail for 6.5 years. Couldn't happen to a better guy. I mean, I hope he's having the day he deserves. With all that, I hope he learns his lesson. But Tom, I gotta say, any of these guys ever really learn their lesson? Do you think?
I don't know. Probably they just would learn to do it differently, I guess, so they don't get caught next time. But I mean, let's give the guy some benefit of the doubt here. And he is going to go to prison if he does his time. And why not? When he gets out of prison and if he wants to get into something and he's done his time, why not?
Yeah.
He deserves the same chance as anybody else.
Here's what I think some of these guys learn in prison. They learn how to be better criminals. That's what I think. I mean, I'm glad he's going to prison because maybe he's going to be someone's bitch. And he's a little roly-poly, so I think someone's going to have fun with him. But I think a lot of these guys, they just go to prison and they take notes on when they get out. They're just better at it, right? I don't
Could
know.
be.
Maybe it's that part of me that is,
You gotta look at the good in people, Kimberlina. I think he's gonna come out and be an upstanding member of society.
I don't see any good in George Moses ripping off poor people for his own fun in his life, right? I mean, look at that
Probably
big
not.
boy. The big boy was eating steak and shrimp on a regular basis, while the people in the Northeast quadrant that he was there supposedly to help barely had a meal a day, and they didn't have anywhere to live because he was spending their money. And you know what? I don't know if it has been in Rochester, but that should have been on a continuous loop on the news cycle. But I know
Right.
it wasn't. I know it wasn't.
Well, Revere Realty today was very proud to represent an 85-year-old minority woman who bought a house in the city. So
I'm
good
so
for her.
excited about that.
She's never owned a house, and her husband, um, the American dream. They bought a
So,
house. They were tired of renting and wanted to buy a house. So
so
good
tell
for
me
them.
the story. They reached out to Revere Realty.
Yeah, no, they saw the sign. We had a listing and they saw the sign and reached out to us, and she came to see the house, and a lovely couple. And she's like, I've rented my whole life and I've always wanted to buy a house, and now's the time. So she
That's
loved the house,
awesome.
worked perfect for her, and we made that happen for her. So
That's the best
good for
story
her.
ever.
Yeah.
That's the best story. Did you or one of the other agents there at Revere Realty help that couple find a home in the
Oh, it
city?
was Lynn. It was,
It was Lynn.
yeah, it was Lynn. She had to spend like 7-8 hours on the phone with them, going through all the paperwork on the purchase contract, because of course they don't have a computer, and or whatever the case may be. She had to go over everything for them, but hey, patience paid off.
I'm
Not
so
everybody
glad.
not everybody knows how all this technology works, especially
And
me. I don't know how any of it works.
it's tough. I mean, I'm sure that they used every penny they had in order to make that house buying experience a reality for them.
I was a little nervous. They wanted to use Quicken Loans. So they showed up this morning at the office here, and I printed all their loan documents, and the gentleman from Quicken Loans was on the phone with them, and he went over everything with them. I was very impressed by their process. So we'll see if we get this one to the closing table, Kimberly.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for them. And of course, we have a house going live tomorrow under 200,000 in Greece. On what road did we say? Rawlingswood?
I don't know. Some rat maze over off Latta.
What do you I'm sorry. What did you say? It's one of the cul-de-sacs. It's one of the little
Rollingwood.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't that over off Latta by Dewey or someplace?
Rawlingwood?
Yeah.
I think so. I'm
it's
not
over
sure.
off Latta, yeah.
But you know what? Credit to people that are still trying to buy houses and people that are selling houses,
Yeah.
because the interest rate's a little bit higher. But the great news is you can always refinance and get that money back later.
Yeah.
So
The rates are actually starting to come down a tad. So that's good news.
it is good news.
Prices are not coming down, however. We still don't have any supply. So whenever a house goes up, I was looking earlier today, that houses are still selling quite a bit over asking. So that the market hasn't slowed down here in Rochester like it has in some of the other major cities. So
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I told you we sold the house in Hamlin in a week.
right.
And so we were very lucky in that respect. And on the flip side of that, here in South Carolina, I have sent away my forms and I'm waiting on a test date to get my South Carolina license,
You
which
got to
will
take another test.
I got to take a 50 question test, but
Is it
it's
online at least?
it's no, I don't believe it is.
Uh-oh.
But you know
You're
what? I mean,
screwed.
as compared to like a 300, you know, a 300 question test.
You're not going to call me to study, are you?
No, no. Hopefully I should know it all, but I'm going to take that. Speaking of money, so, these Hollywood types, I mean, I don't know about you. You've never been divorced.
No,
But
God, no.
you probably know some people who have been. My
Sure.
divorce took forever. It took almost 2 years, mainly because my ex-husband was a jackass and dragged his feet. But not only that, sometimes it just takes longer. But Kim Kardashian and Kanye are already divorced. I mean, these things go pretty quickly, right?
Well,
And I
when
don't
both
know.
sides want to get it done, it does go quickly.
So they agreed on everything. They signed off on everything. And they agreed that Kanye would pay $200,000 a month per child for support payments to Kardashian. And I thought,
What the hell do you
girl,
do with $200,000 a month?
$200,000 a month child support payments per kid. And I think they have 4, right?
How old are they?
I don't, they just range from 3 to 9. They have 4
Would you
kids.
just basically start a Roth IRA and just put all the money in that or something?
My thought is, if I'm Kim Kardashian, I say,
He doesn't need the money.
You know what? Let's just co-parent. She doesn't need the money.
Right.
She doesn't need, she can support them and their grandchildren, right? Generations to come. I say, and I listen, I think that fathers should support their children. But when both are uber wealthy like that, just concentrate and focus on the kids. She doesn't need the money to child support for the kids. What she needs is for a dad to be in their life. I mean,
Right.
that's me. A dad
I'm
in the
sure he
life.
will be, right?
I don't know. I think he's crazy. I think he's lost his
Did
mind.
Giselle have to pay Tom $200,000 a month to get rid of him?
I didn't hear any of the details of their divorce, which again occurred very, very rapidly.
Apparently, he's the most eligible bachelor now. I've been hearing.
You know what? He is all about him and football, and he made that very clear when they got divorced, during their marriage, right?
Right. That just leads you to believe that he's going to come back again next year, even if Tampa doesn't do anything. I mean, where's he going to do now, right?
Could we not see him again? Hey, listen, I want to show you a picture. And let me just say this. I'm in the South, and you see obese people everywhere. Black and white, young and old. Obesity in
She
this
calling us
country
fat, Austin?
is out of control.
I don't know
Obesity
what
is
she's talking
I
about.
think she just called us fat.
obesity is out of control. Now, and yeah, hey, listen, I've gained a few pounds since I've been down here. There's no
All that
shame in my
gumbo?
game. What's that?
All that gumbo you've been eating?
Yeah, yeah. I don't live in Louisiana, live in
Oh.
South Carolina. But anyway, I mean, fried chicken is a
Crab
thing down
cakes?
here. Buttermilk dipped fried chicken is like a big thing. And I mean, you try to go out to eat to find really healthy places to eat, and it can be kind of hard. I mean, you on every corner, it seems like there's fast food everywhere.
We got a new
And
KFC in Chilai we're really excited about.
really,
Yeah.
you're really excited about KFC.
Yeah.
They determined, and there was a big headline in a story this morning that I saw, and I thought, this is where we are as a country. And health wise, I think it is extremely dangerous. I want to show you this picture of Lizzo. I don't know if you know Lizzo.
Don't know Lizzo.
And the headline of this story reads, Lizzo is quite the sex symbol in a strappy, swirly bikini. There's the headline right there on this story. I don't know if you can see that.
Very attractive woman she is, Kimberlina.
She is not a sex symbol. She is morbidly, dangerously obese. And the fact that people look at that and think that that is the norm and that's okay is frightening. Because there's nothing healthy about that look at all. You cannot be that morbidly obese and be healthy. It's impossible.
One time we had a hockey tournament in Flint, Michigan,
Yeah.
and there was a BBW convention at the same hotel we were staying at.
BBW.
Big, beautiful women.
Ah,
And all the women on our team were all walking around like, hens and roosters because they were normal sized as these 3, 4, 5, 600-pound women were at the hotel. But
mhm.
I'll tell you what, you know who showed up at these conventions? A lot of tall, skinny guys that like themselves some big women.
It's
So,
the Laura
hey,
Hardy
there's
effect,
there's
right?
an ass for every seat, right?
Yeah. You put it so eloquently.
Well, the security guard, kind of a funny story here. The security guard was escorting people around, and he left this one couple, and the guy had to be, I don't know, 120 pounds, and she was probably like 400 or 500. And as he's leaving, he goes, boy, that dude's gonna need a spotter. His name was Chauncey. He was the security guard at the hotel in Flint,
Oh
Michigan.
my goodness.
By the
That
way,
is
Flint,
funny.
Michigan is one of the strangest places in the whole world.
Well, it's Michigan.
Yeah.
Go figure. But I looked at that and I thought the headline is Lizzo is a sex symbol. Now, you know what? Talented. Yeah. I mean, who's going to deny that the girl is talented? I'm not. She has talent. but she's also morbidly and dangerously obese. At 34 years old, will she see 54? I mean,
It depends how many COVID boosters she gets.
your heart can only take so much. You're as a human, we're not meant to be that big as human beings. We're not meant to be morbidly obese. Our body is not, able to support itself, to sustain itself. Our organs aren't able to sustain itself. Our knees, our joints, right? I mean, they always told my dad that he had rheumatoid arthritis for once he hit 39, he was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis. And my dad, Dan Ray, had a tendency to be a fat boy. And they always told him, the more weight you gain, the harder the rheumatoid arthritis is going to be on you, right? And it was. I mean, he always felt better when he was about 175, 180.
How tall was he? 4'8"?
My dad was 5'10".
Okay, well that's fairly. What was he at his peak? Like 220?
My dad did not live in the 170 to 180 range, though, the majority of the time. My dad lived in the 220 to 225 range, which was hard on him. And carrying around that extra weight really shortens your lifespan. And that's all I'm saying is I hate seeing headlines like that because it's just not factual. She's not a sex symbol. She is a picture of a morbidly obese individual that will probably not live a lengthy life because of the fat that's probably surrounding all of her organs. And I'm not a doctor. I just,
You're crazy, Kimberly. Nothing's
Yeah.
sexier than that fold over the elbow like that. Ooh,
Nice.
look at that.
I'm
Elbow
not going to
cleavage.
criticize the way she
I'm
looks
telling you,
because
there are millions of men in this country that think she's sexy. So good
Yeah.
for her. Way to go,
well,
Lizzo.
good for her. She's wearing a bikini, so
Yeah.
hey, someone's saying I have no idea who she is. She is a
Neither
singer.
do I.
Joy, please join us in 2022. Lizzo has been around. She sings down, 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 down. Whatever that song is. Well, I don't know what it is, but I can't think of the name.
Eastbound and Down? What were you
No,
just?
Smokey and the Bandit.
That's what it said.
Eastbound
That's
down.
what I thought she was.
it is not.
Eastbound down. Yeah, that's what that different sounded like to me.
It is not.
You do that
Hey.
again, Kimberlina?
No, it's I can't think of the name of the song. Oh, it's gonna kill me. Anyway, doesn't matter because that's not what I was.
You want me to Google's it?
You can Google's it. Yeah, people are gonna be Googling. Hey, Tom, where'd you go to high school?
I am an Indian, Kimberlina.
I am an Indian.
I am an Indian.
Yeah, me too. You know
what
what?
was your name again? Lizzo?
Lizzo, shame on you. Shame on you that you were an Indian.
I'm an Indian, and I always will be an Indian.
I went to school.
Truth hurts.
Truth hurts. Yeah. That's one of the songs that she sings. But
All right.
anyway,
Well,
so I went to school in Independence, Missouri.
Hopefully
and
she lives a long and happy life.
the high school that I went to was the Fort Osage Indians. The high school you went to?
The West Irondequoit Indians.
They're not the Indians anymore, are they?
I don't care. They are to me.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know if the
Says
Fort
it
Osage
in my yearbook.
there were actually Osage Indians that helped build a fort outside of Independence in the area that I grew up in. The Osage Indians were very prevalent. And that's why our high school was called the Fort Osage Indians. Because they were very helpful to the community and they built the fort with the frontiersmen and yada yada. New York's education department has laid down the law telling high schools dump your Native American mascots by December 30th or risk losing state funding for 2023.
Sounds like a lawsuit.
Right? The move follows a June 2022 ruling against the upstate Cambridge Central School District, who sought to hold on to their Indians' identity despite decades of advocacy by indigenous groups saying that the Indian moniker is disrespectful to Native people.
What
And
about like high schools? I mean, we used to play a hockey tournament every year with Gates Chili, where we went up to Salmon River. There was a really nice casino up there by
mhm,
Malone, New York, way up by the Thousand Islands and the
mhm,
St. Lawrence River.
mhm.
And the school was basically all an Indian population. They came over from Canada. What about them? I mean, if the majority of your school is of Indian descent,
I don't think it matters. I don't honestly, this is how New York operates. The school districts, according to the New York State Department of Education Department, the school districts who refuse to adopt a less offensive mascot faces the removal of their school security officers and the withholding of any state aid. The letter says that this is not, I mean, it's happening. That it's not debatable. They're not going to debate it. If your school name is Indians or whatever,
what if you live in the
Chiefs,
Mohawk River Valley or something like that?
and your mascot is a Mohawk, I mean, maybe they're the whatever Mohawks. Going to have to change it
I'm just curious as
because
to this.
they say Indians are not mascots.
No?
But and this has been a thing where there's been certain groups, and there's certain major league teams,
Yeah.
NFL teams, the Redskins, right?
You
What
mean the
other team?
Commanders?
A baseball team,
Atlanta Braves.
Atlanta
And then there was
Braves.
the Cleveland Indians, who are now the Guardians.
So they have, and I don't know. I think that to me the Chiefs are different, and I want you to know that almost every game that there is a Native American that comes out and either rides war paint, the pony, around, or they hit the big drum that they have at Chief Stadium.
Sounds
Actually,
racist to me, Kimberlina. What kind
the
of team do you follow?
the Chiefs organization,
We have a blue buffalo, so I don't know. I don't know how
the,
racist that could be.
the Chiefs organization supports the Native Americans, and the Native Americans who and they're part of the Chiefs organization. I want to show you something that happened either last game or the game before.
Racist.
Good afternoon, Kansas City. My name is Alan Fletcher, Wookie Wahamats, White Antelope.
Today's colors are presented by the American Indian Veterans of Kansas City.
Chief Gary Batten leads us in beating the Arrowhead Drum.
Isn't that awesome? There's not a racist thing about that.
Nope.
There's not one racist thing about it. And I am so proud of the way the Kansas City Chiefs have handled this debate, because there are people that want the Chiefs to change the Chiefs moniker.
Yep. And
And
those
to them, I
crazy,
say,
those crazy old fat white women that name Karen that want to get all these things changed, they never bothered to go ask any of the people who, are offended by it.
no,
Because of course they're not offended by it.
right.
So, because they're privileged to be honored in such a tribute to their nationality.
Absolutely. And I think I mean, if you're a chief, that's prestigious, right? We're not changing the name. We don't have some kind of crazy cartoon moniker of a chief, right? The chief for the Kansas City Chiefs is very stately, right? Sends a message that they're powerful.
That's what you're going to go with?
Yeah.
Just looks like a bunch of racists to me.
Shut up. You know better. You know better than that. Look, I know, right? There's always
Sure.
someone wanting to cause trouble. I have
So
no idea
fat
why.
white women. Why is that?
I don't have any.
Do you ever notice that when somebody's like, you're driving and somebody's all pissed off, or at the stoplight or something, it's always a middle-aged white lady that's a little hefty that's riding 35 in the left lane. I mean,
That would not be me. I'm always speeding.
Yeah.
That would not be me.
They're middle-aged sex symbol white ladies.
It's okay. You can discriminate against fat people. They're not a protected class.
Hey,
No, they're sex symbols.
oh boy. I don't know.
I
Yeah,
don't know her
more.
driving habit, but just seems to me that just a poll that I've taken over the years of driving my whole life. I think if we can
The
remove middle-aged fat white women from the country, it'll solve all the world's problems.
Avon Braves, are they going to have to change?
Probably. Well, what else would a brave be?
I don't think that that's racist. The Braves. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I look at the world differently. I don't know.
What
I
is
guess
it?
I
This
don't go
just
around.
in? Kimberly Ray looks at the world differently.
I
That's
don't
kind of a
go around
shocker.
finding something to be offended by all the time. I'm Irish,
No, I don't.
and
I don't give a crap. Do whatever you want.
we
We
were
were at the
portrayed
Bills
as
game with the
drunks.
Jets. We were at we went to the Jets game in the Meadowlands, and unfortunately the Bills lost. And
Yeah.
we're in the parking lot, and actually ran into a group of just graduated Geneseo students that all lived in New York City,
Mhm.
and they took the train in. So they brought all their stuff on the train, the coolers, the radios, the tables,
Wow.
everything.
Wow.
And they were hanging out in the parking lot. And I just happened to pull up next to them because they were hogging all the parking spaces. And I said, "Do you mind if I park here?" They're like, "Yeah, go ahead." So, anyways, the guy's talking to me about something. And I said, "Dude," I said, "I don't care if you take a crap in the middle of this parking lot. Do whatever you want. I mean, what difference does it make? Who am I to tell or
Right.
you to tell anybody?
Right.
If you want to be a chief, be a chief. If you want to be a cat, be a cat. Who cares? Do whatever
Right.
you want. Do whatever makes
Marcy's
you happy."
Marcy says Letchworth Indians in Wyoming County. There's a picture of Mary Jamison, a white girl kidnapped and raised by the Indians. I know that story. On the front of the school, the Letchworth Indians, if they're still the Indians, by the end of the year, will have to change their moniker to a different mascot, or else they will lose New
Yeah.
York State
How much
education
funding do they
funding.
really get, though?
I look how
Maybe
much
they could
state
just take
funding.
up a collection plate at the church and get that money.
I don't think they could. I think these schools get thousands. And by the way, the thousands pay for these security officers, which according to the New York Department of Education, the security officers for schools that don't get rid of Native American mascot names are going to lose their security officers and all of their state funding. Now, I don't know, probably not some of the public and country schools have the amount of state aid that like Rochester City
Right.
schools do, but it's still significant, I think.
Probably.
I think. What do you got, Tom? What do you have
You're
going
done?
on a Wednesday?
You're done? Well,
Yeah.
I got to get ready to go on our trip on Friday. I got to stop tomorrow, and I got to help my mom put up her Christmas tree. That's always an exciting thing.
You got to put up a for sale sign in that house in Greece
I
today.
do. Oh, you're right. I'm going to forget that. I got
Don't.
to put up a for sale sign in that house.
Someone will be
Greece.
mad at you.
So, Austin, I did have one TikTok. Did you see the story of the fireworks store in Melbourne, Florida? All right.
It exploded, but
just drove into the fireworks store, and it is going to explode.
And in breaking news, an SUV is driven into a fireworks store in Melbourne, Florida, because of course it happened in fucking Florida. The crash, which happened over an hour ago, ignited the first bit of fireworks, and they have just kept going off ever since. Phantom Fireworks, which I drove by like fucking yesterday, is about the size of a supermarket full of explosives. And with every firework that goes off, 4 or 5 more get ignited. As we reach sunset, Floridians are swarming the location with cases of natty ice and Trump flags. More on this story as it progresses.
Kimberlina, I know
Yeah.
last week on this show or 2 weeks ago, I denounced my support of Donald J. Trump,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
I feel like it's now, I'll tell you what, if getting a 12-pack or a case of natty ice and going to watch a fireworks store on fire, if that's being a Donald Trump supporter, I'm back in. I mean, that's like my dream.
It's your dream,
Come to a
right?
fireworks store and watching it on fire and drinking a couple beers. Who wouldn't want to do that?
I would want to do that.
What the heck are you doing there? Is that a cat?
That's a paw of Dixie. Well, okay, so you know what's funny is so Sunday night during the Chiefs game, the power
Everything always has to be about the Chiefs, isn't it?
the power completely went out. I mean, all of a sudden it just went click, and then there was Nothing. The street lights were off. Everything was off. So I go find the 2 flashlights that, when the hurricane went through in September,
Right.
I went down to the local hardware store and bought what flashlights they had left. They had 2. I got a good one and I got a crappy one. So I can't find anything in this house. So because everything's under construction. So I take my flashlight and I go outside. And of course, I'm looking around to see if any of the neighbors have power. But I
Right.
realized the whole street is just completely, black. So I noticed about 5 minutes later, my neighbor's out in the street with her flashlight.
Is this the one with seven kids, the Mormons?
No, I never saw them. They're freaks. Anyway, so the lady across the street is out smoking a cigarette in her front lawn. And I'm
In her
over there
bathroom?
talking to her. Didn't she get in her car and drive up the street and around to see what was going on? And she said, yeah, there was a couple of trees that fell down, and because we had a lot of rain last week.
Mhm.
And so the soil down here in South Carolina is such that tree
The
roots,
soil?
the soil, the red dirt, by the way, or it's orange. The trees just fall right over, and I guess a bunch of trees fell on a transformer. So she was out looky-looing and went to see where the transformer blew.
Yeah, that's good
So,
entertainment.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me that people would go down to watch a fireworks factory on fire. Why
Oh, I would
wouldn't you?
definitely go. Okay, this is something I got to tell my wife here. There's a new TikTok challenge, or this was like last month. I need this today. It's about cooking chicken in NyQuil. Now,
Ew, no.
of course, I'm not sure why the FDA really has to say that it's not a good idea and warns people about cooking a chicken in NyQuil.
You don't know?
Well, obviously, but
There
I
are
need this
people who
today. I got
drank.
a bad cold. I need some NyQuil chicken.
There were people who were drinking Clorox.
Yeah, because Trump told them to.
No, he did not.
All right,
No,
and
he-
lastly, have the people in Rochester noticed as you drive down our major expressways here, I-490 and I-390,
Mhm.
have you noticed the signs on the, that's not $1 billion lottery weekend, but the signs saying that New York State Department of Transportation is looking for snowplow drivers? Hey, New York State, is this on? Hello? It's gonna effing snow like in the next, like now. Why are we waiting to now to get snowplow drivers? We're so screwed this year.
Did Buffalo have enough snowplow drivers when they got
Buffalo?
I mean, no, but I'm asking, did they have enough snowplow drivers when,
I don't know.
several areas of the Buffalo region got 6 feet of snow?
It's going to snow. Now, the town of Chili is like the best ever snow removal town in the whole world. I mean, as soon as there's an inch of snow, there's a plow there. I mean, these guys work tirelessly. But once you leave the town of Chili, this is going to be a disaster. I may not be able to leave my hometown.
So what you're saying is that the DOT snow removal
They don't have enough guys.
They don't have enough guys.
They wouldn't trust me to do that job, would they? Could
No.
you imagine me driving a snowplow?
No.
Was that somebody's mailbox? What was that?
You would have to stay sober long enough to drive the snowplow.
Well, that's not the problem. The problem is
the problem. It is the problem.
my judgment. I'd be like, was that a Buick? What was that?
Yeah, that's not going to end well if they don't have enough snowplow drivers. It'll end up being, what did you say,
how
like the
many
bus
people-
driver
I'm
situation.
sure you have to be certified, right? Is it
You
going
probably
to
have
be?
to have a CDL, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I mean, are they just going to let people like me drive a snowplow now? I mean, what happens if there isn't enough people that are certified?
Then I guess you'll have.
You sent Chad that story today about attorneys. I saw that. That was kind of interesting. What was that about?
Chad and I will have that conversation next week.
Oh, teaser.
They're making it so that you don't, in order to pass the bar, you don't have to take the LSAT anymore. Which is, let's just dumb it down for everyone, shall we? Let's just dumb
like
it down.
Who was the comedian? I don't remember. I remember the bit, but who was the comedian that they would always do this bit about some doctor that when you're going to the doctor, that at some point you don't know, but when you see that diploma on the wall saying they went to Cornell or wherever, and at some point somebody was the last one to graduate their class, right?
Yeah.
Out of 192 doctors in
You don't want that
1986
one. Yeah.
that graduated from Cornell, somebody was the last one to get their diploma. And
Yes.
and like the comedian would joke and he would say, and you got an appointment with them at 4:00 today. Because you don't know,
You
right?
don't.
It's the same way with lawyers. You just assume they're competent if they passed the bar exam.
But now they're
You
making
assume
it
your
even
doctor is
easier.
competent.
Right.
We're going to end up with a lot of quacks, Kimberlina.
And by the way, how many dumbass lawyers do we know? I mean,
Well, I know
we're not-
one.
He's gonna
Oh,
be
it's
mad
not
at you.
Chad. It's another guy.
All right. Well, that is good. But Chad is going to be with me. So just a little programming note. We'll be back next Wednesday with Kimberly's Revolution. Please support our advertisers: Taylor's Heating and Cooling, Taylor 500 Help, Precision Lawn and Garden, and of course Revere Realty, where we are now ranked in the top of Rochester real estate agencies. I was pretty shocked to see that. I think it's pretty cool, pretty awesome. We did have a lot of sales this year that ranked us up there this year. It's the first time we've ever been ranked. Is that correct?
At least that high. Everybody gets ranked.
Oh, but this is the first time we've ranked as high as we did.
Right.
So yay us. So it's a good thing.
Yay to us.
Yay to us. So we will be back. Chad is going to
Buy
join
and
us.
sell a house.
You're going to be on vacation. We appreciate all of our patriots. Find us on YouTube at Kimberly's Revolution. And any other programming notes? I think someone
I drive everywhere, winter, spring, summer, and fall. If you got your damn license and you could go drive a snowplow, we need you. It's time to step your game up because I can't be sitting in 3 feet of snow.
You
No,
cannot.
I don't have the patience for that.
You cannot.
There's no way I can't do it. So
No. Go home and have some hot tea, and don't forget to put the for sale sign in the yard
yeah,
in
I'm
Greece
gonna
for a
have
house that
some,
goes live.
NyQuil chicken soup when I get home.
With Revere Realty. If you know anyone that's looking for a house in Greece in good condition for under 200, you can reach out to Patty Bardine. She will have the listing and it goes live tomorrow. And of course, we love all of our patriots from Kimberly's Revolution and the We the People Podcast Network. We thank Austin, our producer, and Tom, as always.
God bless. Be kind to others. Drive a snowplow. Help out the world.
Crash.
Hang on.